Hey, hello everyone. Welcome back to the next video. Basically another monthly update on some of the aquariums that I have here at home since having a stroke and having limited mobility and not able to work at the moment. This one here is my 29-gallon Molly tank. This one is actually my oldest aquarium. I started this probably 3 years ago, and it's pretty much stayed put ever since. I really haven't done anything to it. I've got a really nice bowl. Excuse me with my plant names. Since my stroke, I know what it is, but I just can't. I can't think of it, so bear with me. Anyways, this tank has second and third and fourth generation mollies in it. Each one of the babies has got its own unique shape, coloring scheme. Let's see if I can zoom in here a little bit so you guys can see them. But anywhere from gold to yellow and black to speckled, mostly black, to all black, to gray. I love these guys. They munch away on algae and keep themselves busy. I keep this tank at about 75 degrees. It is winter here in Canada. I am on the west coast. So this particular, oh, and there's some, I believe those are firefoxes. They're getting big. They're always swimming around doing their things. I believe there's 2 of them in here. There's about 8 mollies in various sizes in here. I have 3 or 4 corridoras in here. Mostly just driftwood and suasitang. I believe that is a Java fern. Somebody in the comments tell me if I'm wrong. And it's grown to the surface. And then all of these roots that you see in the, excuse my camera work, all of these roots you see in the aquarium are actually from a pothos growing up out of the tank. I do have one of those USB air bubblers. Oh, this might be a little shaky as I get up off my knees. Sorry, I did have a stroke last year, and still recovering from that. As you can see, this I did clear out most of the duckweed from the top of this tank. I am left with some of these gorgeous, I'm not sure if they're watered lettuce or what they are, but I don't mind them at all. They seem to grow like crazy in this water of mine. What else can I tell you about this tank? I love this tank. There's always something to look at. All the fish in here are always busy. He looks absolutely monstrous in this shot compared to the little ones, but you can see all different mutt mollies, as I like to call them. There's one of the original moms way back when. She's about 3 years old right now, chilling out in amongst the foliage. So yeah, there's an update on the 29-gallon molly tank. As you can see, it's just underneath on the living room side of the 10-gallon shrimp tank over there. Oh, here's another one that'll make you laugh. I was at the the dollar store, and I found this cylindrical, I think it's a plant base or something. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try and grow some live food. So I just put it there for now, put a little LED light on top of it, stuck a tiny little anubias in there, and some snails. But the snails kept crawling out of the top of the tank, and I thought, I don't want to buy a cover. I just want to do this on the cheap. What can I do to keep the snails in the tank? And I thought, you know what? I'm going to ask my friend if I can borrow a pair of her pantyhose. Let me rephrase that. Borrowing, that'd just be too weird. I have a pair of pantyhose, and I just stretch it over the top. And you know what? It's done great. It lets the light in, keeps the snails in. So yeah, I just started this last week, threw a couple of floaters in there. Floaters are doing well. The Anubias is doing great. It doesn't like highlight anyways. Substrate is simply sand. And I had some of those mesh bags that I bought off Amazon. I just filled them with topsoil as a base layer. Nothing fancy. Threw some white sand over top of it, and there it is. Next aquarium we'll look at will be this monstrosity here. Gorgeous piece of lilies growing out of the center of this tank. Bamboo shoots. I bought myself a new Higer. Anyways, that brand of light. It's a 24/7 model. You can dim it. It's got all sorts of features in the included remote. I just leave it on the 24-hour setting for now. And it basically adjusts the light according to the time of day on a 24-hour cycle. Really liking it so far. You can see my original fish. She's now 5 years old. She's got one eye. We call her Goldie. There you go. Now we're looking at you. She's in this. This is a 55-gallon tank that I got from a local pet store. It's got a Hager heater in it. It's got a few floating plants. And it's filled mostly with angelfish. Believe it or not, these are all babies. Well, they started off as babies. As you can see, they're not babies anymore. But yeah, these were all the offspring of my pair. There's Daddy right there. He's the original male. The female passed away, unfortunately. So this is a update of the. I love this tank. There's some Harlequin rasboras in there, as well as some other tetras. There's a couple of corridoras. I love these guys. They're so peaceful. They're always hanging around, doing their thing. I threw a little bit of sand into this. This was basically just a lava stone base for years and years and years. And because of this little monster, I was unable to have planted plants in this tank. So I ended up having to buy some plastic plants. As much as I hate them, the angels, they do require separation from each other at times, because they like to joust. They love to joust each other. So these teenagers here, oh, there's another Cory. The corridors are always busy chipping away, doing, where did he go? There he is. Doing their things. This tank here, as you can see, it does have blackbeard algae growing off of these plastic tanks. One of the reasons why I did change the light on here. It was just, the other ones were just too intense. So I did dim these and now have them on, basically it's an 8-hour cycle, although it does run 16 hours a day. It does ramp up from a soft orange into the full spectrum and then down to a soft blue glow before it turns off. Oh yeah, you can see them. There they go. They're always jousting. Let's see if I can pretend to feed these guys. Watch these guys come to the surface. They just absolutely, they're monsters. They love food. I'll take a video. I'll take a short tonight. Show everyone how these guys just go. I call them my little velociraptors because they just love food. But yeah, no, they're gorgeous. I think they're gorgeous. And then again, there's a plethora of vines growing out of this tank, along with this absolutely huge peace lily. Again, here's my hand for reference, so you can see it's fairly big. All right, on to the last and final aquarium. This would be the 29-gallon cherry shrimp tank. Oh, excuse me. You can see the surface skimmer here that I was using to try again. This tank here, absolutely covered with duckweed, which I don't like, but the shrimps, they don't mind it at all, to be honest with you. Ow. Sorry about that. Just sitting down. All right, let's see if we can find you guys some cherry shrimps in here. Again, this tank is absolutely littered with cherry shrimps. I started this tank. This was my first dirted substrate tank. This tank is now about 120 days old. Started off with potting soil on the bottom, about ½ an inch. And then I covered this with about 1.5 inches of white sand. This tank really needs a good cleaning. It's been hard for me to get around, so I've somewhat neglected this tank, but believe it or not, the shrimps don't seem to mind. They've been breeding like crazy ever since I stopped messing with their tank. I did try a Christmas moss wall. Mixed results. It didn't really do all that great in this tank. See if I can zoom out and show you some of the plants in this tank. Again, this is a 29-gallon tank. It basically sits at room temperature here. Again, it is winter time in BC, so it sits around 69 degrees. Obviously hotter in the summertime. I'm gonna build myself a homemade chiller for the summer for these tanks. I'm just designing it right now. I'm an electrician by trade, with way too much time on his hands right now. Oh, I just noticed that. Look at all that new growth coming off of that. Isn't that fantastic? Wow, that wasn't there a couple days ago. Let me just zoom in and get a look at some of these cherries. See a whole bunch of them on this piece of coral. Lots of sawasatang, I believe that's how you call it, in this tank. Oh no, that's Christmas moss. Sorry, that's Christmas moss. I started off back in October with just a little splodge of it, and excuse the reflection there. And it's just going crazy. What else have I got in this tank? Oh, that one there seems to be doing well. Sorry, I don't know any of the Latin names for any of these plants or scientific names or what have you. I do know, there goes my mind again. Long, tall, sends runners. Ballisinaria. I started off with a couple of sprigs of Ballisinaria in the back on this, and it's gone ape in this tank. It loves it. Let's see if we can zoom in here. I've got 3 rather massive amount of shrimp in this tank. There's 2 of them there. They came in as babies. They've tripled in size in this tank. Let's see. Again, a lot of the shrimp love to hang out in amongst the top here. Let's see if we can rattle some up. Oh, there goes a snail. Oh, there's shrimp. Oh, there's another shrimp. These are mostly red cherries. There's one you can see right up here hanging out. Oh, there it is. She's buried. So she'll be having more little shrimplets. But yeah, again, this one started off with a handful of red cherries from my local fish shop. And over the months, they have just multiplied like crazy in this tank. A little cuttle bone for some calcium. This one here did have a pest snail problem at the beginning of the tank, but since there's enough natural food in this tank where the shrimp are always grazing, I really cut back feeding to like maybe 3 or 4 times a week for this. And when I say, I might throw in like one of these mineral junkies or one of these whatevers. It's in Chinese, I can't read it, or maybe just a half an algae wafer, or a couple of these shrimp cuisines. But really, I've stopped feeding this thing every day. It doesn't need it, and the shrimp just seem happy doing their thing. Again, it's hard to tell. I should get my underwater camera out, give you guys a view, but lots of them on the surface of this tank. And you can see there's 5 shrimps right in that shot there. 6, 7, oh, there's too many to count. 8. Tons and tons. Anyways, that's good enough for now. If you're still with me, thanks for watching this video. I appreciate it. I'm trying to grow this channel to just show other aquarium hobbyists what I'm doing. Maybe they can get some ideas for their own setups. And yeah, have fun. This since my stroke, there's my RO container. I do make my own RO water for top-ups in these tanks, specifically for the shrimps, although they probably don't need it. But I noticed ever since doing that, just doing my water top-offs with the RO water, the algae has gone down considerably in all tanks. Again, little Chinese water filter that doesn't work, so I'm just using a hang-on filter in the back of this one here for now. It's doing the job. DIY CO2 system that I got off Amazon. Actually, this one here is fantastic. It's empty right now. I'll be rehoming this to another aquarium that I'm going to start up. But, oh, quick, simple, 2 ingredients, 10 minutes to set it up, and you're golden, and it lasts for a couple of months, and it's cheap. You put your solenoid on a timer. I use the smart timers connected to my phone. I just run an application, not an application, but a routine to turn it on during the day when the lights are on, turn it off when the lights are off. And it's all automated. I don't have to do anything. So it keeps the lighting consistent within the tank, which is important. And yeah, again, I have done one water change on this tank since I set it up. There you can see a size difference between this would be not even a full-grown cherry shrimp, but we'll call it a teenager. There's a little one in behind, and that one there's probably a few weeks old. Oh wow, am I ever shaky? Sorry about that. But yeah, that one there's probably a few weeks old. When they're initially born, they're literally the size of 3 grains of sand. It's really quite amazing how small they are. And then you think, oh my Lord, how am I going to feed these guys? So you start going on Amazon, you start looking at YouTube videos, and you go, oh, I need to get this food, I need to get this food, I need to get that. You know what? You don't need to get any of it. Crush it up into a fine powder. Put it in your tank. If you crush it up fine enough, the babies will get their share. The adults will get their share. And the babies are able to go into all the tight little crevices in the corner or in the tank that the adults can't get into. I wish I had a macro on this camera, but yeah, you can see them just picking off microalgae off of this coral or whatever it is. Boy, my hands are shaky. I'm gonna have to end this video. Sorry guys, might have to lay down for a bit. Anyways, that's an update on the home aquariums, February 5th, 2024. Again, if you've watched the end of this video, I appreciate it. This is the longest video that I've made so far. And I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like and subscribe button for me. Try and reach out to a few more aquarium enthusiasts. And maybe help them with their first tank setups. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below. You can see this one here. I've got a grow light on top of that. God, that peace lily is just absolutely gorgeous. I bought that plant and it was probably 1/8 of the size last summer. So it's just over a year old. It's been growing like an absolute weed in that tank. Again, I'd love to be able to put fresh, the only real plants or live plants in that tank is that little green one there over in the right bottom corner. Other than that, that goldfish, when she just goes rummaging through the bottom, she uproots everything. I